Hello, my dear students. Let's continue with Lecture 9. Lecture 9, Part 2. Default values in parameters. In C++, functions can also have optional parameters for which no arguments are required in the code, in such a way that, for example, a function with 3 parameters may be called with only 2. For this, a function shall include a default value for its last parameter, which is used by the function when called with fewer arguments. Let's consider this example, line by line. This line is for include library for input and output stream. This to exclude using std prefix. Here we start our main function, but our function we write like here before function main. Okay, the name of our function is divide. Int is type of the return value. And here we have two arguments. Argument A of type int and argument B of type int2. But here we define to be a value. B is equal to 2. Okay, what is going on in our body's function? Here we have variable r of type int. It will be our result. And then we calculate r. R is equal a divided by b. And then we return our variable r as a result of our function. And here we start our main function cout to display on the screen. And here we call our function first time. We write our name of our function divide and only one argument that is equal to 12. And 12 will go to parameter a, and because we don't have the second argument, it will be equal to 2 by default. Then we go to the new line. Please remember this manipulator, that means new line, and then cout function to display on the screen. Again, we call our function using its name, divide, and here in brackets we have two arguments that equal to 20. 20 goes to A and 4 goes to B. Now B will be equal to 4. In this example, there are two calls to function divide. In the first one, this line, divide with argument is equal to 12. And second, when argument is equal to 4. The call only passes one argument, this is the first line, to the function, even though the function has two parameters. In this case, the function assumes the second parameter to be equal to 2. Notice the function definition, which declares its second parameter as int b is equal to 2. And the result of calling of this function will be 6. In the second call, divide and two arguments, 20 and 4. The call passes two arguments to the function. Therefore, the default value for b, int b is equal to 2, is ignored, and b takes the value passes as argument, that is 4, yielding as a result of 5. And result of our whole program will be 6 and 5. Function cannot be called before they are declared. That is why in all the previous examples of function, the functions were always defined before the main function, which is the function from where the other functions were called. If main were defined before of the other function, this would break the rule that functions shall be declared before being used, and thus would not compile. The prototype of a function can be declared without actually defining the function completely, giving just enough details to allow the types involved in the function called to be known. Naturally, the function shall be defined somewhere else, like later in the code. But at least once declared like this, it can already be called. The parameter list doesn't need to include the parameter names, but only their types. Parameter names can nevertheless be specified, but they are optional and do not need to necessarily match those in the function definition. For example, a function called proto-function with two int parameters can be declared with either of these statements. We may take this statement where we have name proto-function, int type of the return value, and first parameter name of the first parameter is first, and int the type of this parameter, and name of the second parameter is second, and int is the type of this parameter. Or we may take this line without name of parameter, there's just types. The declaration shall include all types involved, the return type and the type of its arguments, using the same syntax as used in the definition of the function, but replacing the body of the function, the block of statements, with the end of semicolon. Anyway, including a name for each parameter always improves legibility of the declaration. Let's consider this example. Okay, here we declare prototypes. Here we can see prototypes for one function. The name of this function is odd, and it has only one parameter x. Type of this parameter is int, and void, so we don't return any value of this function. So it changes something inside or prints something inside. And second prototype for the second function, name of our function is even. It has only one parameter x, type of parameter is int, and this function doesn't return any value, so it's void. The second part of this program, we start our main function, and inside what we do, we declare variable I, and then we start do while loop. It's here. We printing, displaying on our screen, please enter number or 0 to exit, and then scene for printing in from the keyboard variable I to get variable I. And then we call our function odd and pass I like argument. And while I is not equal to 0. Okay, when we call our function odd, let's see third part of our function. Here goes our function odd. We check condition. If x modulo 2 is not equal to 0, we display on our screen it is odd, so it's odd number. For example, I put 5 first, so I check 5 modulo 2, the result will be, because it's a reminder, please remember that modulo gives reminder is 1, so 1 is not equal to 0, so condition is true, so on the screen will be displaying it is odd, yes, 5 is an odd number. Else, for example, next, in our do-while loop, I put 8. 8 is even. So, 8 modulo 2, remainder is 0. So, I check condition 0 is not equal to 0. No, it's false because 0 is equal to 0. So, I go to else even. I go here to function even and I check my number 8. 8 modulo 2. So the result will be 0 and I check condition. 0 is equal to 0. Yes. So it is displaying on the screen. It is even. Yes, 8 is even. Okay. This example illustrates how function can be declared before its definitions. So we did this first and then our functions. Declare the prototype of the function. They already contain all that is necessary to call them. Their name, the types of their arguments, and their return type, void in this case. With this prototype declaration in place, they can be called before they are entirely defined, allowing, for example, to place the function from where they are called main before the actual definition of this function. And this is the end of our lecture. Thank you for your attention. Goodbye.